just for Houston, real quick, unbelievable turnaround, 3-13-1 to divisional round. You have the offensive rookie of the year. Just a great job by DeMeco Ryan. CJ Stroud exceeded all expectations. We're talking about one of the greatest rookie seasons in the history of the NFL at the end of the day. He came on and, in my opinion, is pushing top 5, if not the 5th best quarterback in football going into next year, which is just crazy to think about from where we were this last offseason, debating whether or not he would even be the second quarterback taken in the draft. So kudos to Houston.
Yeah. You very rarely see teams make big turnarounds like this quickly. Everyone's talking about the Lions turnaround, and that was incredibly impressive. The Texans did almost the same thing in 1 year, right? The fact that you went from the second or third lowest win total in the entire NFL to winning a playoff game just over the course of a season, that your rookie quarterback played at an incredibly high level, and even when CJ Stroud was hurt and missed a couple games, the Texans were still able to play well. The defense completely turned around overnight. I mean, you asked me to make a list of some of the teams you'd like to be a fan of most in the NFL, which teams have the brightest future. The Texans are very, very high on that list.
Oh, they have to be. And we'll reveal that full list a little bit later on in the episode. But Houston, yeah, a good time to be a Texans fan. Get Tank Dell healthy, get some more pieces on that defense. And we're talking about a team next year that's going to come in and probably be the favorite to win the AFC South. And then they should, because they are going to be a tough ask for anyone to go and beat. I know the Vikings have them on the schedule next season, so that'll be a chore that I'm not too excited to go and face. But the Texans, man, one of the teams you definitely want to be a fan of. We'll have a lot more on them later this offseason. And thank you to all the Texans fans who have been listening. We actually made a Texans shirt. I'm going to flash it up on the screen right now. Our t-shirt, what do we call them? Head of t-shirts, head of finance, creative design. Jacob Stellan created this Texans shirt that is now on the screen. So you could go over to paulfarringtonshow.com and check that out. What were you saying, Zach?
He took over Rotundo's role.
Yeah, he took our friend Michael's role. So, I actually think this shirt's really cool, just without even being a Texans one. If you're a fan of America, it looks like a good America shirt. Ranking the top 5 franchises with the brightest future, Ziggy. You hinted at that during the Texans segment. Who are your 5 franchises with the brightest future?
So when we're taking brightest future here, I think you have to consider lots of things, right? I take it to be over the next, say, 5 to 10 years, all things considered, how do we think the franchise is going to do? It's not like who's the most improved. It's not who's ascending. It's who do you think is the brightest future?
Let's say the next 5 years. Who do you want to be a fan of?
I think 1-2 is easy. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers. Right? Like, I know we like to sort of count up on our lists, but those two are just indisputable. They're the best teams in their conferences. They've got young, exciting quarterbacks. They've got great players at lots of positions for the 49ers, and they've got one of the best players to ever play the game in terms of the Chiefs. I think that's indisputable. Now is where it starts to get interesting. Number 3, I have the Green Bay Packers. Now, it's not surprising to see a blue sky franchise this high on the list, a franchise where it seems like ever since they traded for Brett Favre, absolutely everything goes right. But you've got Jordan Love. You've got a great offense with lots of exciting young weapons. You've got a lot of great defensive players who I think with a better coordinator, or you're going to unlock some more of that talent. The team, in an alleged rebuilding year, really just had a rebuilding month, made the divisional round, took a team with the second highest Super Bowl odds to the wire. You have to be excited if you're a fan of the Green Bay Packers. Number 4, also perhaps not a surprise, Houston Texans.
Okay. I like that.
There are a lot of teams that this is where it starts to get really tough for me. But the thing about the Texans is they've got CJ Stroud on a rookie deal, right? In his first year, he already looked like a star. The defense is much improved. And the kinds of players who are ascending, guys like Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, are players you're going to get a lot of production from in the future. The coaching is really great. I worry a little bit if Slowick leaves this offseason that you might see a bit of a hangover for the first half of next season. But they'll figure all that out and be good. So Texans are at number 4. Now, number 5 is the absolute hardest for me. I really didn't. There's so many teams that you could put here.
There are a lot of teams that can make this top 5.
I'm afraid to say the team I really think, Paul.
Say the team. I want to hear who you really think.
Everybody, there are a lot of teams people are going to want me to say here, and I'm going to get lit up by fans of a certain team in Baltimore in the comments.
Oh, wow.
Number 5 is the Indianapolis Colts.
Wow.
This is all projection, right? I admit this is all projection. And you can, look, you're entitled to light me up here. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson, MVP of the league. They're playing in the conference championship. They got a great coach. They got a great defense. I think this is the year for the Ravens. But starting next year, the AFC North is always tough. Burrow's going to be back. Bengals fans are going to be mad at me too. I've been saying
there's a lot of fan bases that should be mad at you right now.
I believe in Anthony Richardson. We've learned that Shane Steichen was the offensive engine of the Eagles, and we saw what he was able to do with Gardner Minshew on the Colts. They're going to figure out the defense. They've got $1 million in cap space. I keep saying $1 million because it's a big number. They got $1 billion in cap space. I don't know how much they have. It's too much. And Anthony Richardson, we saw little flashes. When he comes back, he is going to be next year's success story. I really believe it.
Okay.
Is this take reasonable? I'm just going to say no. It is not reasonable.
No, it's not.
But I honestly believe it. And that's got to count for something.
yeah, that's to count for something. I think the Bills are in that lower end of the top 10 just because they have Josh Allen, but they're older. Cap space is not good. So I don't think I'd have them top 5. Bengals could probably be right there with Joe Burrow. You didn't mention the Chargers. I know you don't like them, but I think the Chargers, they're going to get Jim Harbaugh. And once they bring in Jim Harbaugh with Justin Herbert, I think that is a very bright future with Justin Herbert.
Paul, picking the Chargers is a lot like picking the Vikings to have a bright future. The Chargers are the paradigmatic black cloud franchise in the NFL. The roster is an absolute mess. It's going to take at least a year to fix it. And as much as I believe in young quarterback Justin Herbert, the cap hits are going up. We haven't seen anything to suggest they're going to get the general manager position in order. And it's just going to be tough for them to get it done.
Is it crazy to question you on the 49ers at 2? I think that they are an aging roster with a quarterback I don't particularly trust in Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan is the best thing that they have, in my opinion. He's the most valuable asset on that team.
You have a top 3 head coach GM tandem with at least a very good young quarterback. They have shown that they can run a functional offense over and over again. I mean, look at what they did with Jimmy Garoppolo. The second he leaves the 49ers, he looks terrible. I am extremely confident that Lynch and Shanahan can continue to put together excellent rosters of excellent offenses and good defenses. You just can't argue with the track record of success they've had.
No, you can't. You can't. Because I actually think I'd have the Ravens at 2 with Lamar Jackson and that, they have some older guys on defense, but there are some great foundational pieces along the way. John Harbaugh is one of the top 5, top 10 coaches in the NFL.
Look, the 49ers have made the NFC Conference Championship game or better 4 years in a row.
Oh, no, they are fantastic.
Not 4 years in a row, 4 of the last 5 years, excuse me. 2020
they have been fantastic.
I
I might go Chiefs, Ravens. Where to put the Packers and 49ers next?
You have to go 49ers. They've 49ers, just had too much.
Then probably the Packers. And then I'm sitting there with the Texans at 5, probably. That would be my top 5. But I think the Chargers are right there. I think the Bengals are right there as well. You have to with Burrow. You have to. They're just amazing.
I'm saying wait until next year, Paul. Wait until next year. You're going to see.
All right.
You're going to see.